Hello, my name is Isabella Gaddis, and today I'm going to be presenting my DSM 420 project focusing on world life expectancy. So, life expectancy is a crucial global health indicator, and it reflects the country's national health, economic stability, and overall quality of life. uh, Understanding it can help policymakers make informed decisions about how to reduce health disparity across different regions. That's one of the many reasons that I chose these data sets. So this data set is from Kaggle, and there are many fields. The category of fields are country and status. So, name of the countries, there are all of them from Brazil, India, USA, Afghanistan, everything. And then the possible values for status are developed and in developing. So the continuous fields in the data set are um, life expectancy, adult mortality, infant deaths, percentage spender, measles, HIV, GDP, schooling, income, composition, diphtheria, hepatitis, polio, and fitness between 1 and 19 years, and fitness from 5 to 9 years. So, I'm sorry. And so the data set has 2,938 records across 22 variables and investigates both developed and developing countries. The key variables, as we discussed before, are life expectancy, adult mortality, infant mortality, and different types of diseases, and the monetary wealth of the population. So let's dive into this data set and the data visualizations that come with it on Tableau right here. So this is the first data set. Ignoring just a second. Um, so this is the first data set, the graph generated with the data set, which is a bar chart of life expectancy per country. As you can see, the life expectancy goes between 45 and 83. So the countries with lowest life expectancy are in yellow, gold, and the highest are in dark pink. As you can see, a lot of the lowest are in Africa or Asia, and some of the highest are in Europe or Oceania. So moving on, my second graph is a graph, a world graph that shows the infant deaths across the world, and it measures from 2000 to 2015. You can use this as a filter and just see it from 2000 until 2001, 2002, and just look at the data set that way. But looking at the overall, India has the highest number, having 21,867 deaths. As you can see, some of the countries with the highest infant deaths are also in Africa and Asia, which correlates with the first data set that graph generated. So this is the third graph. It is a line chart, and you can see that it goes from 2000 to 2015 and shows the average life expectancy between those periods. In 2000, the life expectancy was around 67 years of age, and in 2015, it equaled 72. So growing 5 years between those 15 years of that the data set was collected. The fourth graph is a Pareto chart that measures the GDP per country from 2010 to 2015. I wanted to focus on something smaller so we can see the relationship between the data. The only two countries that are above the 80% are Switzerland and Luxembourg, with the highest GDP. But that is not very surprising, as Switzerland and Luxembourg are known for having um, good per capita income. And this is the another graph. It shows adult mortality per year, and it shows what variables um, are not complying with the average. So these are the variance. Um, so in 2000 and 2004, it was above what it was usual to the average. So the number of adults that died in those years were highest. In 2012, 2013, 2014, and 15, the numbers were lower. This is a control chart. This is a line chart, a trend analysis chart that shows the numbers for HIV and AIDS cases between 2000 and 2015. And it goes from having 471 in 2002 and decreasing up to 120 in 2015. So it's very possible to see there is a decreasing trend in the HIV cases. This graph shows the relationship between GDP and hepatitis and but throughout 2000 and 2015. As you can see, the variables, these both charts, this dual chart is used so you can see if there's any relationship between them. We can see some things like over here in 2009, there was a huge decrease in GDP, probably due to the world crisis. And then you can see that the hepatitis was very high when the GDP was low. And you also can see that here, when the GDP rises in 2012, hepatitis cases decreases. And over here in 2013, when the GDP decreases, the cases increase. There is no solid relationship between them. There isn't nothing for sure improving, but we can see that there is a negative relationship between them. When one increases, the other decreases, and vice versa. This is the first dashboard, and you can see the life expectancy and infant deaths and the adult mortality and life expectancy. So different ways to measure how the people in those countries are living and throughout 2015, and we are able to see the correlations between the data sets and how they interact with each other. So over here on the second dashboard, you can see the other factors that go into life expectancy, like the GDP and the cases for things like HIV and the life expectancy per country. So you can use this, you can use the trend analysis as a filter, and when you click in 2002, it will show you the data for the GDP and 2002 and the data for life expectancy and 2002 on the other graph. So you just use this as a filter. So you could click in 2008 and it would change the data. So this is this is a story point. And on the story point, we want to tell a story between this data set that is not, it goes beyond on just the number of life expectancy. So the first, it begins with the dashboard for the cases of HIV and GDP per country and the life expectancy per country. So those are all the factors that go behind the scenes and are more the likely the ones that generate the low and high life expectancy. So the second one, as you can see, is the relationship between the factor that generates it and the other fact in another factor that generates it. If like there are multiple factors that go with each other, how they correlate to each other. So you can see the GDP and the hepatitis and how one and the other increases and the other decreases, because those are again the factor that influences the country to have either a life expectancy that is very low or very high. And going in over here, we have our third graph. So on the story point, that is after those factors go in, this is the result. We have the life expectancy between the countries. So is it low, is it high? And then we have the dashboard, which is the other factors that are affected. So not only the general life expectancy per country, but also the infant deaths per country and adult mortality per year, and the life expectancy per year for those countries. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know.